I will be locking every single Real Madrid player with a lifetime contract. Yes, you heard me right. Real Madrid has gotten a transfer ban. They're not allowed to sign any players in 10 seasons. So they need to keep their whole squad the same because they can't afford to lose any players. But they are allowed to loan out players because they need to grow their team to reach their objectives, which is to win 20 trophies in 10 seasons. Sounds very difficult, but Real Madrid has a high potential young squad, such as Lunin with 86 potential, Carreras at left back with 88 potential, Dean Huijsen with a whopping 89 potential, Trent Alexander-Arnold with 87, Tchouaméni with also 87 potential, Vinicius with a crazy 92, Rodrigo with 89, then Valverde with 90, Camavinga with 89, Jude Bellingham with 94, Arda Güler with 89, Mastantuono with 88, Mbappé with 94 potential, and Endrick with 89, and yes, I will be putting development plans on every single player. So they obviously grow a few ratings and make our team better. But yeah, as you can see, this team is stacked with potential. So the challenge will be tough, but not so much with this team probably. I won't be loaning any players out this first season because I'll just see who grows and who gets game time so we can get a better understanding, and then from season 2 we'll begin to loan players out. But for now, let's just start off by simulating the first season to see how we will do. So we're at the end of the first season. Has Real Madrid started this challenge off with any trophies? Let's just see. Well, they got second behind Barcelona in the La Liga. They then actually lost the Supercopa to Athletic Bilbao, couldn't even win the Copa de España, and then lost to Arsenal in the Champions League semi-finals. So actually no trophies won this first season, but we're now in the second season, and take a look at that beautiful growth on our team for the most part. But Arda Güler is now 86 already, Bellingham is 93, and Mbappé is already 94. It's genuinely insane. It's already looking good, but I also think it's time to loan out players. I'll try to loan out Lunin so he can get game time and have time to grow. I'll also try to loan out Fran Garcia, and then also Raúl Asensio, and then even Franco Mastantuono. Let's see who they can sign with. And the first player getting loaned out is our bench keeper Lunin. He will be going to Atalanta for 2 years. We're then going to be loaning out Frank Mastantuono. He will go to Bournemouth. I think that'll be really good for him. We've then loaned Fran Garcia to Bilbao for 2 years. And lastly is Raúl Asensio, who's going to Aston Villa. So that's our players loaned out. Hopefully they'll do well at their loan clubs, and hopefully our team continues to grow. But yeah, let's just simulate this second season. And we're now at the end of the season. Remember, 400,000 before 2026, and I'll do a face reveal. So actually don't subscribe because I don't want to do that. But let's see how Real Madrid did. And they've won the league this time. So that's our first trophy. They, however, still couldn't win the Supercopa, but they did in fact win the Copa de España though. But then they lost to Newcastle in the Champions League this time. So 2 trophies won this season. And our loans did okay. Lunin played 10 games and even grew 2 ratings. Fran Garcia did really well and grew 3 ratings. Asensio, on the other hand, didn't get game time, but he did grow 2 ratings. And Franco Mastantuono surprisingly didn't get any game time, but he grew to an 82 rating. So I'll keep all our loans at their loan clubs for 1 more year. But this is our team for season 3, and yeah, it's beginning to look incredible. Courtois is holding on to his rating despite being 35 years old. The rest of the team is growing, but it has slowed a little. So I think it's time we change the development plan of each player. And I'll also try to train Tchouaméni to a center mid so he can fit in the team better. But yeah, I think our team looks great. Hopefully we can actually just win more trophies from now on. But let's just see by simulating the third season. So we're at the end of the third season. Can we win more than 2 trophies? We did win the La Liga again. That's good to see. But yet again, for a 3rd year in a row, we lose the Supercopa final, this time to Barcelona. But we get our revenge on them in the Copa de España. But then we lost to Manchester City in the Champions League. Lunin didn't get any game time, which is weird, and he didn't grow. But Fran Garcia did amazingly, 41 games, and grew 2 more ratings. Asensio is still with no games at Villa, and same with Mastantuono, but he did actually grow 2 ratings. Our team is only becoming more incredibly strong for each season. I'll stop loaning out most of our players now. Expect Mastantuono because I really believe he can grow. So let's see which clubs can get him. Inter Milan with an offer, but I just don't think he'll get much game time there. But Dortmund could actually be really great. They're known for developing talents, so I will accept. And Mastantuono has accepted the deal. He is officially off to Dortmund for 2 years. That will be interesting to see how he does. But let's just simulate the 4th season now. So we're at the end of 4th season. Let's just see how they did. And Real Madrid with another league title. And they finally actually win the Supercopa. But then this time, they can't win the Copa de España. But then they did actually win the Champions League, so that's a treble, our first so far. And here's an update on Mastantuono. He only played 10 games, but did grow 2 ratings. I'll keep him there at Dortmund for 1 more year. But bro, this team is becoming incredible. The defense is solid, but that midfield and that attack is incredible. Like, it's genuinely insane. I will be changing the development plan again so that they can hopefully grow yet even more. But let's just simulate this 5th season and see how they do. And Real Madrid keeps on winning the league title. They can't, however, win the Supercopa this season. And actually, no Copa de España either. They do win the UEFA Super Cup, and they've won the Champions League back-to-back. That's really good. Another 3 trophies, which puts them on 10 trophies now. And Mastantuono played another 10 games at Dortmund, but he didn't grow any ratings this time. But we're now officially halfway through the challenge, and we're also halfway through our goal. Our team is surely the best ever team in football history by now, and it's only getting better and better. We'll expect Courtois, who's dropping in rating, but I'm not worried because we have Lunin. But there is some good news. Tchouaméni can finally transition to an actual center mid, so we will be doing that. But it didn't really make a difference in his rating though, but that's still good to have. But yeah, let's hopefully just continue on winning trophies. So we're at the end of season 6. Can we continue our amazing form? For once, we actually don't win the league title. We lost to Barcelona on goal difference. That's annoying. Real Madrid does win the Supercopa, but then they can't win the Copa de España, and they lost the UEFA Super Cup to Liverpool. And even more crazy is that they lost to Lech Poznan in the Champions League. That's embarrassing. So only 1 trophy in season 6. It's now season 7 though. Most of our players are beginning to turn old, so that means they'll soon drop in rating. That's not good. But we do still have a lot of young players that are still growing, so hopefully we can win most of our trophies now. Let's see how we do in season 7. So we're now at the end of season 7. Can we get back to winning multiple trophies again? And we get second behind Barcelona yet again. Still couldn't win the Supercopa, but we did win the Copa de España, but then lost the Champions League final to Barcelona. That hurts to see. And a few more players, such as Militão, are now also beginning to decline. But damn, Jude Bellingham is now 98 rated. He might even reach 99, but that reminds me that we should be changing the development of every single player yet again. But yeah, we should be getting back to winning more than 1 trophy a season, because we only have 3 seasons left, and we need 8 trophies. So let's see if season 8 will be better. So please, let's hopefully get our form back. And oh my god, we get second again. Real Madrid does win the Supercopa though, and also the Copa de España, but they lost in the Champions League semi-finals yet again. But that's at least still 2 trophies, which puts us on 14. But we're at season 9, 2 seasons left, and Bellingham has officially hit the 99 rating. He's insane. But everyone else is dropping in rating, so that's not good. But 6 trophies in 2 seasons seems tough, but it's not impossible. So let's see if we can pull off a miracle. We're at the end of season 9. We need 3 trophies at least. Can we get it? And Madrid gets second yet again behind Villarreal. They do win the Supercopa, but they can't win the Copa de España, and they lost the Champions League final again. Why are they so unlucky? Anyways, we're at the final season. We're on 15 trophies. So the challenge pretty much feels like it's over, unless we somehow win 5 trophies in this final season. But I don't even think that's possible. Our team is also falling apart. But I thought we did well. Anyways, let's just sim the final season and see how we do. So we're at the final season. Let's see how close we can get. And funnily enough, Real Madrid is now back to winning the La Liga. They even won the Supercopa, but then can't win the Copa de España. But they do win the Champions League in the final season. So Madrid ended up with 18 trophies. Not quite 20, but it was close enough. But I still failed. What team do you want me to try this on next?